Hey everyone, how are you? I thought I'd make a little video. Today is the 12th of May, and it's the eve of the feast day of Our Lady of Fatima. And I thought maybe it'd be helpful rather than just my homilies that I could just teach you, hopefully in little bits at a time. So let's see if I can do this in 5 minutes, and then we'll just go from there. Maybe some other videos for 5 minutes. So this first one, since it is the Eve of Fatima, this stuff's been on my mind a lot. The stuff about what was promoted at Fatima was two things that would have been in response to what Our Lady had to say, and the two things were asked for. They weren't asked for until after the apparitions. The apparitions took place, um, in 1917. And then it wasn't until 1925 that Our Lady appeared again. And then she said she wanted to ask for the devotion to her Immaculate Heart through the five first Saturdays. And then it wasn't until 1929 until she appeared again and then said, now the day has come and I'm asking for the um, consecration of Russia to my Immaculate Heart. And then there's all the details around that. But what I wanted to do was just start with, in 1917, at the third apparition, Our Lady, she had already spoken for, let's see here. She mentions her heart a few different times. Okay. I think actually at the second apparition was the first time you heard about the Immaculate Heart. She said, Jesus wishes to make use of you, to these children, 7, 8, and 10 years old, of you to make me known and loved. He wants to establish in the world devotion to my Immaculate Heart. Okay? You see, so right in there, we already see what the problem is. She's not known and she's not loved. And she should be. There's something wrong with that. When God gives you the gift of making his mother, your mother, even after she dies and goes away to heaven, she's still your mother. She's not known and she's not loved. And so that needs to be rectified. And so what ends up happening, man, time flies. Look at that. It's already 3 minutes. So anyway, when you look at the next apparition, the third apparition, which took place in July 13th. So it's one every month, and it's on the 13th always. And what she ends up saying is, she said there was 4,000 to 5,000 people there, and when Lucia asked, what would you like? She said, for you to continue to come here every month. In October, I will tell you who I am and what I want. So she still hadn't even told her who she is yet. And I will perform a miracle for all to see and believe. She says here, I have here a petition to make that you... No, okay, wait, sorry. Let me jump ahead. She said this. Sacrifice yourselves for sinners and say many times, especially whenever you make some sacrifice, oh Jesus, it is for love of you, for the conversion of sinners and reparation for the sins committed against the Immaculate Heart. And then she said, as Our Lady spoke these last words, she opened her hands once more, as she had done during the 2 previous months. The rays of light seemed to penetrate the earth, and we saw, as it were, a sea of fire. Plunged in this fire were demons and souls in human form, like transparent burning embers, all blackened or burnished bronze. Floating about in the conflagration, now raised into the air by the flames that issued from within themselves, together with great clouds of smoke, now falling back on every side, like sparks in huge fires, without weight or equilibrium, amid shrieks and groans of pain and despair, which horrified us and made us tremble with fear. Imagine that. An 8, a 7, an 8, and a 10-year-old, and she showed them that. That would be the worst thing that any one of us human beings has ever seen. And so we tend to like to, shield our children from things, and it's understandable. But you know, there's a certain also like another direction I think we need to take, which is that your children very soon need to understand about the reality of heaven and hell, and and sin, and so this is what Our Lady showed these children. And then it said, it must have been this sight which caused me to cry out, as people say they heard me. The demons could be distinguished by their terrifying and repellent likeness to frightful and unknown animals, black and transparent like burning coals, terrified, and as if to plead for succor. We looked up at Our Lady, who said to us, so kindly and so sadly, "You have seen hell, where souls of poor sinners go. To save them, God wishes to establish in the world devotion to my Immaculate Heart." I think I better stop there. Now, think about that though. Do you even know what the devotion to the Immaculate Heart is about? Do you understand that? Um, and if God sent this, his mother to come and visit these little children to change the world back in 1917. And she showed them hell and saying, poor sinners go there. And then in order to remedy this, she says the same thing she said in the other one, where she talked about her heart, her Immaculate Heart. Sorry about that. Sunlight is coming through. But she said, in order to save those poor sinners who go to hell, that thing needs to be adjusted a little bit. Sorry. Anyway, in order to save, let me just rotate it around a little bit. In order to save poor sinners who go to hell, he says, he wishes to establish in the world devotion to my Immaculate Heart. So I think we need to pay attention to that. Okay? So I'm going to be showing you more videos to help you to understand what that means. So stay tuned. God bless you. And happy feast day of Our Lady of Fatima tomorrow. God bless.